All right, world people, I welcome you all to Moments of Matters Arising. Once again, you are highly welcome to Moments of Matters Arising with the Street Comrade. It's still our time, when we used to look at happenings world over and Africa and specifically Nigeria. And more especially as Nigeria walks towards its 2027 election, a whole lot, is unfolding. But first, we commiserate with the United States of America as it loses eight of its men in a B-52 aircraft crash at Edward Air Force Base in California. This happened yesterday, Monday. The U.S. has lost about eight of its officers in a B-52 aircraft, crash. It is a sad one. I think it's one that has not happened for a long time for B-52, to crash in that manner. G7 summit is ongoing in France as Iran and US war dominates discussion. Iran and US signs deal to end war on President Trump's 80th birthday. The world can now breathe. There's no more fear of the Third World War, as permutators, has thought it would have been. So we can now breathe, and the economy can now rejig, and oils can now begin to flow, as the U.S. and Iran has agreed to sign a deal. In that deal, tentatively, we learned that the Republic of Iran, the Islamic Republic of Iran, has accepted not to enrich uranium in any way, not to purchase in any form. Another, concession that they've made. All right, but by Friday, according to U.S. President, all details of the agreement will be made, public. So we are hopeful that this will be permanent, so that the world can, experience some level of peace in the troubled Middle East. UK to ban TikTok, Snapchat, and Facebook for its under 16 citizens. I think that's a good move. And other countries should, try to emulate this for this because the social media is becoming something else, especially with the AI instruments. So countries should begin to, tighten policies to save the next generation. Fire outbreak in world's biggest displacement center in Bangladesh. A displacement center that is housing over 1 million persons, engulfed in fire days ago. And there are many casualties. So our prayers to, to those who are, victims of the fire outbreak. Okay, Mark Zuckerberg and Facebook donates Ray-Ban Meta glasses to all U.S. veterans. I think that's a good one, to aid, their reading, their sites, and a whole lot of benefits that is attached to that classical Ray-Ban Meta glass. So Mark Zuckerberg donates it to all U.S. veterans. That's commendable. Iran sets to bury Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei July 9th after over 100 days of his assassination by the combined forces of US and Israel. And people are asking if this does not go against the popular Muslim tradition that makes it that upon death one shouldn't be staying on earth more than 48 hours. I think so, but this is more than 100 days. But however, I think it is noble that His Eminence Ali Khamenei's body should be committed to Mother Earth and we grant him rest. U.S. denies entry to award-winning Somalia referee Omar Atan. I think U.S. in a move has made it that Somalians should not be a part of the countries that have been banned from entering U.S. at least within the Donald Trump's regime. That is that in the international scene as the G7 leaders are still in France discussing while Russia and Ukraine keep bombing each other. And we learned that Zelensky have met with lots of world leaders in the sideline in France, discussing on how to pressure Russia to stop bombing Ukraine. All right, back home in Nigeria, Nigerian military finally rescues the wife of General Abubakar, the former, I think, defense PRO or something, who was kidnapped a couple of weeks ago. We saw in a video him and his wife while traveling around, were kidnapped by terrorists, and within the last 48 hours, within the last day, few days ago, news filtered in that the general himself have died in captivity, and in what looked like a drama, the terrorists were able to leave their enclave and bring out the corpse of the general to submit to the Nigerian military. you know, but as of today, we have news from defense headquarters that the wife has been rescued, from the terrorists. But we didn't hear news of terrorists being neutralized in the process. They only said that they fled. It is well. Civil Defense Correctional Fire and Immigration Services Board finally have released a list of applicants, and in a twist, many applicants are complaining. There are so much allegation, that have been leveled against the process, and one is just wondering, when will all this, when will all these things stop in Nigeria? Process is, you can't trust no process. It's unfortunate, that those who don't have the connections and contacts finds it difficult to sell through on merits. There are a lot of allegations, and I think some applicants have actually officially petitioned the board. Okay, Nigeria's inflation rises to 15% in May. That's a big one. The son of the NDC vice presidential candidate, Kwankwaso, so his son, Mustafa Kwankwaso, has emerged as the NDC Kanu gubernatorial deputy governor candidate. So their father is the vice presidential candidate for Nigeria, while the son is a deputy governor candidate in Kanu. And people are asking, are we going to family? Are we now? Are we snowballing into family business in our national politics? Not only Kwankwaso and son. Across boards, the children of these political actors are taking positions, House of Reps, Senate, and local government, and all that. So that is that. Federal government, state, and local government shares 2.257 trillion in April. That's FAC allocation. So hold your state governors responsible. They are receiving so much money this time. Hold your state governors responsible. So INEC deregisters AGC and 5 other political parties. And that has been topical. INEC has deregistered the African Democratic Congress, which was supposed to be the major platform for the opposition parties as we go towards the 2027 general election. So INEC has deregistered ADC and some other political parties like I think APP and others. That is, it has raised dust. It has raised dust. SERAP has filed a lawsuit against NNPC Limited over failure to account for over $5 billion, I think $5 billion, that they couldn't account for. So SERAP has filed a suit against NNPC. IMF pushes federal government of Nigeria to impose more tax on Nigerians on fuel, on telecom, and some other items that were listed. And we are wondering, what did we do to IMF? Nigerians are already suffocating with the very tight economy, and you are still advising federal government to add more tax to be able to raise money, to be able to qualify for more loans, not even raising money, to be able to qualify for more loans. People should have pity on Nigerians, IMF and their cohorts, the federal government. Again, Borno State reintegrates about 1,000 repentant terrorists. Nigerians have wondered why this should be this way. They are killing our military officers, raping our women, children, cutting away, and On the other turn, you hear that they say they are repented and will forgive them and even empower them. There are allegations that they are even assumed, into armed forces. Well, that is for the news. Protest continues across Nigeria for the return of the Oyo children and the teachers that were adopted. Court revokes Sowero's bail condition and declare him wanted. All right, finally, on a lighter note, Babi Jesha, popular actor Babi Jesha, welcomes baby 7 months after he's out of prison. And people are wondering, do they give birth in 7 months? What has gone wrong? Some people are asking, did the prison authorities compromise on, or what exactly, or has the woman cheated? So on this note, I'll leave you on moments of matters arising with the street comrade. We want to hear from you. Go through the news lines and tell us your opinion in any of these issues. Let's talk and let's discuss. Have a blessed day ahead. Thank you. I'm still your anchor, the street comrade, on moments of matters arising with the street comrade.